Okay. We'll reconvene this meeting at 10:02. And when we broke for recess, we had a motion and a second on the table relevant to item 21A. Is there any other questions or comments?
Sorry, I missed it. We did start a new one, so people know there's two for today. But on this one, last time there was do we have the money to pay for this, I guess?
Yes.
Okay, okay. That's what I remember. We didn't quite have that, so.
Yes.
All right, sounds good.
All right, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Item 21B, this is for the road striping. Is there any questions, comments, or motions?
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, when you say move for approval,
DIJ,
DIJ,
that's the only bidder we had on that.
okay? So
And just-
want to clarify who the vendor is.
yeah.
All right, so have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. C,
Who
21C.
made the second on that? Jim did? Okay, very good. I'm just recording it for myself.
And Judge, on 21C, I'm sorry, is it time for comments on 21C?
Have you opened 21C yet?
I was fixing to bring up 21C.
Okay.
Go ahead. All right, item 21C is the award on the hot mix asphalt. I understand there were two submissions, and there was a recommendation to go with the primary and a secondary based on proximity, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, and we'd like to change the proximity to located within 15 to 30 miles.
Yeah, I think it was 30 miles in the bid package.
It was 30 miles, but we've been Commissioner 3 requested that we
We're open
do
for
it from
discussion.
15 to 30 miles.
I suggested that, and the reason being is hot mix is time sensitive, and so therefore, the closer it is to us to not have to drive all the way to 71 to pick this material up, and two, the 200 tons, was 300, they dropped it back to 200. So if we're trying to do a job in a day with 200 tons, it's possible that we might not be able to overcome the 200 tons.
The minimum order.
Exactly. So that's why I suggested the 15 miles. That allows us to have the hot mix closer. That way we have longer to work with it, and two, we can get those larger numbers if need be.
So it's going to be I think there was a motion on that, was there not? Was there a motion on 21C
Not yet. No, and,
for a dual award?
well, the local government code does make a provision for that. The Commissioners Court may award contracts for the purchase of road construction material to more than one bidder if each of the selected bidders submits the lowest and best bid for a particular location and type of material. So,
And that'd be fine if we was working, say, at Marble Falls, but if we're working at Bertram, or say, Damon's working out at, Briggs or something, then that driving all the way to Highway 70 or 71 is just not gonna work.
right, well, that's what we want to do. I will make a motion to award the primary contract to Asphalt Inc. with the secondary contract award to Texas Materials based upon particular location or type of material as per the local government code.
Do we need to put mileage in that or not?
No, it just says particular location or type of material.
So I heard a motion, was there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. You have a question?
I do. Go ahead. So the question is, it was brought up that the sheriff's office was over the 50,000 on the oil changes.
We're on 21C.
I understand it.
Okay.
They're going to be
Okay.
together. This ties in as for the asphalt. Who is the current bidder for last fiscal year for asphalt?
Asphalt Inc.
And have they gone over the 50,000?
That's where we go out for bid.
I know, but I'm asking who the current provider is for, you're going out for bid for this fiscal year or last fiscal year?
This fiscal year.
So currently, we have nobody that does asphalt since October 1?
No, and I don't think anybody's bought any hot
We haven't been
mix.
able to buy anything.
Nobody will buy any till spring.
Who was the bidder, successful bidder from last fiscal year?
I believe it was Asphalt Inc.
Asphalt Inc.? Okay. And did they go over, so that's the requirement for the bid if it goes over the 50,000? Would that be the same for the cold mix and the paving rock?
Yes.
That's the trigger.
That's, okay. So the sheriff's office was the only entity that went over 50,000 on these bids? Or on these projects for our oil changes?
Well, isn't it a
It's,
conglomerate?
I think
it's
it's
cumulative.
everybody.
It's not aimed at a department.
No, I understand that, but the reason being for going out for these bids was that the sheriff's office, because of tires and oil and the use of,
I don't think, no.
we
I think it's
ran it.
overall.
We ran a list by vendor.
by vendor?
Vendor for the previous fiscal year and sent it out for the court to look at, and to look at the vendors that had gone over 50,000 to see if they wanted to go out for bid in any of those areas.
Okay, and those that went out, those that were over 50,000 for fiscal year '24?
Yes, we ran the list for vendors over 50,000 for last fiscal year, FY '24.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
But
And
the
I'll-
bids-
In
would be FY
anticipation of
25.
exceeding
Sure.
50,000, you know, trying to do the best practices there.
So who was on the list for over 50,000 for last fiscal year? Was it just the tire people and the oil change?
I can send the list to you if you would like. I
Well, no,
can
I'm just
attach it to the minutes.
following up on what Chief said, because I know that we had Asphalt Inc. POs that exceeded $50,000 in the last fiscal year that were separated. And then the second part of, which is not allowed under the code. And then the second part of this is the Burnet County purchasing policy, doesn't it say you have to rotate through vendors, or is that government code? Whether they're the low bid or not. So it's just a couple of issues here. Y'all are you're awarding a bid for, are we on C? I'm sorry, are we on
C,
C or B?
We're on C right now.
Okay, so what you're approving here is in accordance with government code, but how do you do the rotation through the vendors? Isn't there a rotation through vendors?
There's only going to be so many as far as hot mix asphalt, and
Right.
these are the only two that we have here in Burnet County.
Okay, so if you have to rotate, and Asphalt Inc. last year was your primary vendor for hot mix, do you have to rotate to your secondary and put them in first position this year to comply with government code or not?
I don't think there's a rotation component. Oftentimes, you'll call up, back in the day, when I did it, and the plant was tied up on a big state job, and you couldn't get material. Because
Better close
we are
down
not
the jail.
the biggest player on that field, for sure.
Okay, so, but it wasn't just tires and oil for the sheriff's department. We still have an issue with, especially in precinct
This is-
4.
This
going
isn't
over-
tires and oil for the sheriff's
Okay.
office. This is tires and oil for countywide. It's not trying to single out a department.
Okay.
I wanted to exclude oil changes because out of courtesy to the sheriff's office, because based on their patrol schedules, and there may need to be some flexibility based on, sure, they're the cheapest, but your vehicle's gonna be down for 3 hours. Well, that's not very good whenever need to be making calls, right, sir? So that's why I wanted to hold that one out. If you had a flat tire, you got a flat tire, you need to fix it right then.
Okay, so it wasn't because they went over. So then back to hot mix, because we did have some separating of purchase orders happening for hot mix last year in precinct 4.
Yes, ma'am, because we do different jobs, and it's a perishable product. You can only buy so much of it, and you have to use it at the time that you buy it, because it sets up and it's
I
not usable.
I understand that, but if you go over 50 within 1 week on the same section of road, is it still allowed to be broken up like that, separated like that?
They're different jobs, yes,
If it
ma'am.
went out for bid, I think it is,
It didn't go out for bid.
last year.
That's correct. Thank you.
We have a motion and a second on the floor, Judge.
We do, and that is for the combination award 21C. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, motion carries. 21D would be authorization to go out for bid. We're just advertising for bid. We're not accepting, we're not approving that. But that would be for cold mix, paving rock, bulk fuel, and I'm gonna ask, do you think we should include the oil changes in that?
My recommendation is hold on the oil changes right now, and we can look at the oil changes and tires and see what is causing us to go over the 50 threshold and bring that back to the court.
Tires aren't mentioned on this
No,
list?
tires are not mentioned. My hope was that pulling them off and buying them off of state contracts, we could get them out under the 50,000 and would not have to go out for bid.
Okay. Just for my edification, because road and bridge is a separate tax in Burnet County, does that change the purchasing laws because one is out of one tax and one is out of a general tax?
I
Follow
would,
my line of thinking there, does that,
I would have to get I would like to get more clarification on that before I would
just a curious
answer that.
question, it kind of got me to thinking.
Safe side is always going out for bid over 50,000.
Okay, so the auditor's recommendation to remove oil changes from 21D, what's remaining is cold mix, paving rock, and bulk fuel. Might there be any questions, comments, or motions on those three items?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 22, the following items are part of the consent agenda and require no deliberation by the Commissioners Court, or however, anything can be pulled out separately. A would be consideration approval concerning budget amendments. B would be consideration approval concerning budget interdepartmental line item transfers. C would be consideration authorization payment of claims previously approved by the county auditor. And D would be consideration approval regarding departmental equipment request and/or property transfers. Did you have public comment? Okay.
I do. A few meetings ago, Judge Oakley mentioned to Juanita Kaufman that there was a statute that the court was complying with regarding the consent agenda. At the last meeting, I believe I asked for to have disclosure of the statute so that we can look at it. And also I followed up on that request with an email to Judge Oakley, and I copied county attorney on that. And I'd still like to know what statute the consent agenda is being presented as being in compliance with. Thank you.
Okay.
One more, Judge.
Okay.
I would also have comment as well on the consent agenda at the last meeting on November 12th. Commissioner Luther, Commissioner Byerly, and Commissioner Dockery all asked questions and agreed that at least the departmental line item transfers could be made available to the public before the meeting as an attachment to the agenda. And Mr. Arredondo, your legal counsel, also said that that was public information as well. And again, we have no attachments on any item on the consent agenda so that the public is still not being able to see how our taxpayer money is being spent. This seems to be my day of objection regarding the spending
Well,
of
that's
taxpayer money
I'll say this.
and the obfuscation behind it.
What you're talking about is the mechanics of a flow of information that I'm not in control of. That comes from the auditor's office.
But you're the presiding chair. Can you not make it available to the public?
If it is available to us at the time that the meeting is posted, I've asked my assistant to attach it. If it's available at the time of the required 72-hour posting, but if it's not available,
How's the public supposed to know that?
I will,
There
Where's
are
the
no-
transparency in all of that?
if you'll you've asked a question, if you'll allow time to
I
answer.
will, thank you.
Please.
I might mention there are no line item transfers or budget amendments on today's agenda.
It would be nice to know that ahead of time. The public deserves to know how that money is being spent on the consent agenda. You had 3 commissioners at the last meeting, plus your legal counsel, saying that we are entitled to see that information.
If it's before us, then we can look at it, but if it's not there, I don't have it. All right, you want 2 or 3 minutes?
And
Okay.
to the point, I actually hand-walked a line item request into your office prior to the 72 hours. And it's not, you're saying it's not on the agenda?
No, we did not put any on the agenda because they were not scanned. We pulled them from this time's agenda because we want to try to make sure that they get scanned and attached to the agenda before court. So
Point
we're
being-
currently waiting on all of them right now.
So what I'm hearing is there wasn't time to get it done for this agenda because it needs to be scanned onto it.
But you just said that as long as you have it in with 72 hours, that you would have it, and
I haven't seen it, I'm not part of that.
I walked it in last Thursday morning, well before the 12 noon deadline.
The auditor puts line item transfer requests, and budget amendments on there. They're there. I don't.
Move for approval of the consent agenda in its entirety.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 23, calendar review. Thanksgiving, Thursday and Friday. That's great. Our next meeting will be on December the 10th. And then the second meeting after that, instead of being on the fourth Tuesday, it will be on Thursday, the 19th. Thursday, the 19th. I understand on December 14th, the Christmas parade's gonna be going on around the square. So that's good. Any other events anybody would like to put on the calendar?
I believe January 10th? Yes, ma'am, I was just waiting. On January 10th, the county attorney's office is hosting a Public Information Act training. We're having someone from the Attorney General's come in to offer free training. We are inviting anyone who is interested in that training to come. We are still finalizing locations. When I have a location, I will share that and we will get it sent out to the public.
I would like to post that as a workshop.
We were going to talk to you about that, we just haven't gotten there yet, but that is the plan.
No, I think it'd be
Because
good.
We are hoping that whoever is interested and available will attend. One other item I'd like to share is that on December 7th, the Friends of the Library are hosting a gala. It is a 1940s hanger dance style event. Tickets are $30 or $25 for our veterans, and we would love to see everyone there supporting our library and having a really good time. And I hear there's going to be a demonstration of a flamethrower, which had lots of people really excited. Not my thing, but people were excited about it.
Long distance candle lighter. All right, so that's the agenda, calendar on things coming up. I am told we need to go into a quick executive session. And so we will be recessing back to executive session for discussion with the Burnet County Commissioners Court and the county civil attorneys and/or county attorney in accordance with Texas Government Code 551.071. The Commissioners Court reserves the right to adjourn into executive session at any time during the course of this meeting to discuss any matters as authorized by the Texas Government Code. Limited to consultation with attorneys, deliberation about real estate, gifts and donations, personnel matters, security devices, economic development, deliberations about homeland security issues and contracts being negotiated. I can tell you that the topic of this is going to be allowing for the consultation with attorneys regarding pending litigation and settlement offer with defendant Kroger, like the grocery store Kroger, correct?
Yes, sir.
Regarding County of Burnet versus Purdue Pharma. And this is for the pretrial cause number 2018-63587 that is in the 152nd District Court of Harris County. I do not anticipate this to be a very long discussion. probably 5 or 10 minutes, if I were to be guessing. But we will be recessing and going back to the jury room for that. So I would recess this meeting at 10:22, and I would invite the county auditor, the full commissioners court, and the county attorney's office to attend the executive session, and then we'll be right out. So thank you.
The reason I asked Ross, he had a secretary. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He
him and I were gonna get a table, and so I said, I just don't know, because all of my friends are in it. I don't know if I can fill it. So I said, I'll see if everyone already has a full table, that would be 4 of us. I just don't wanna take up your seats if you, and I'll just let the gala. I will do the conference room tonight, but I don't know if they'll. Oh, you'll do it? No, I mean, I can. Okay. Yeah, but I just, one of my would ask before we bought a ticket, maybe not. Okay. For Costa? Costa's changed. Okay, well, I'll let you know if you need us. I didn't really message. No, But I think we're already counting with my and I don't necessarily want to buy it, but I said, I'm gonna go. Okay, perfect. But yes, I'll tell the first parents about the board. Thank you. Yep.
Okay. I'll reconvene. Item 17 is reconvening from executive session back into open session. 18 would be discussion or action regarding items discussed in the executive session. A would be a discussion or action in consideration of authorizing the county judge and other authorized officials to execute the settlement participation and release forms regarding settlement offers from Kroger in the matter of Texas opioid multi-district litigation for the county in the matter of County of Burnet versus Purdue Pharma LP et al. Madam Colleen.
Thank you. Colleen Davis, I'm the first assistant county attorney. I'm here on behalf of Eddie Arredondo. We have been given a settlement from Kroger, the grocery store, in regards to this opioid litigation case. The settlement comes in multiple parts. A part of that money would come directly to Burnet County. That would be $14,297.12. We don't have a specific date yet on when we can expect that, but if we were to accept the settlement, I think it would come fairly quickly. And then we also participate in a regional settlement. And so the state is divided up into multiple regions. We are part of Region 8. And money gets put into an account that is shared by the region that would be made available for grant applications for programs related to opioid addiction treatment and interdiction. And so that Region 8 settlement would be for $1,373,31.01, which brings the total amount of money in that Region 8 account to $2,864,511,623.79. That would be available for grant applications related to opioid treatment and interdiction. And so the recommendation of our civil attorneys is that we accept this litigation. It is Mr. Arredondo's recommendation that we accept this settlement and that you all vote and execute the settlement subdivision participation and release form.
Okay. On the 14,000, the payment itself,
Yes.
there are strings attached on what that money can be used for, correct?
Not that I am aware of, Your Honor.
Or it could just go straight in the general fund?
I believe it goes in the general fund.
But the grant, the other aspect of it, has got strings attached.
It has strings
Has
attached, and we would have to
applicability.
apply for it.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily go to us, it's shared.
All right, well, if you have a form,
I do.
But I think first we need a motion and order and a vote.
On the grants, who is the people who determine who gets?
I don't know that that has been set up yet. It is still in the process of being created. So that money is not available for grant applications yet. And I believe there will be some partnership with Blue Bonnet Trails moving forward, but again, that's not finalized yet.
Okay, but you need a motion on the first part or the
I
whole?
need a motion and a vote to whether or not you want to accept the settlement and execute the settlement participation and release forms regarding settlement offers from Kroger in the matter of Texas opioid multi-district litigation for the county in the matter of County of Burnet v. Purdue Pharma LP et al.
Gentlemen,
I'll move for approval with that attachment.
Second.
questions, comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I can now give you the forms to sign. You can just give those to me, we'll get them to the appropriate people.
So that's everything we need to do on that today?
That's all we need to do today.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then that's everything on the agenda, with the exception of item 8, which will reappear at a future agenda. No, not item 8. Item 14 will reappear at a future agenda. So if there's no other business the county would like to bring up that's on the agenda, hearing none, I would adjourn the meeting at 10:33. One gavel too slow.